Good afternoon. Welcome to Full Time Reds. It's me, Chris Brack. It's Kev O'Sullivan. It's finished. Everton 0, Liverpool 0 in a fairly entertaining game, but ultimately Liverpool didn't match intensity, too slow on the ball, and aren't clinical in either box. And basically got what they deserved. So, Kev, we are now 9 points down on the same fixtures last year. And I think there's a few big players who, again, in my opinion, did a Man United performance and could not be asked. And I'm a bit, I can't really be defending people who just aren't matching intensity. You can have a bad game, but run your fucking bollocks off. And not great. But what did you think of the lineup? Let's go through the lineup first.
I think the lineup showed a lot of faith in two young lads, in Elliott and Carvalho in the same 11. But the reality was there was no balance in midfield, and it showed in the first half. Carvalho was a passenger. He was just watching the game. You know, the game passed him by. It's not his fault, but it's just he was out of his depth in that position for this game. And the one thing that the Everton midfield was seriously up for it. And they know the fixture. They've been in this fixture before. You know,
Jack's saying Klopp's to blame again. I mean, I'll be fair, Jack. To blame.
Yeah.
To be fair, Jack, that 11 is the one that we've seen being screamed in the chat for about 2-3 weeks now. That should be the 11. That's the 11 that'll dominate. And the problem with that 11 is when you don't have the ball, you're asking too much of two young kids to run back. And I just don't think it's right because I just don't think the balance was there. Yeah. He should have either started Milner or if Arthur's, and I couldn't understand when you don't start Arthur because literally,
he's just turned up 5 minutes ago.
Doesn't speak the language and all that. So we got here Klopp at fault for all of this. Said last year, I doubt he has the ability to build a second squad because he's never done it before, and his loyalty to players who have been crap for a while is over the top. It's an opinion.
The ones who let him down today are your senior pros.
And that's the problem.
So didn't see anybody saying to get rid of the senior pros in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, Salah was abysmal. He was shocking today again.
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought
Sydney's got a point there. That starting 11 was fine. The subs were poor.
I just think starting 11 was fine.
Yeah, Sydney, they didn't make any subs in the first half. And in the first half, we were brutal. The midfield was atrocious. Hang on one sec. Fabinho was left isolated in the middle of the park. Darwin Núñez's game is to play up against your two centre-backs. Bobby's game is to come deep and make an extra man so you can make passes. If Darwin is going to be playing up against two centre-halves, one of the midfielders has to hold in midfield and be an option. It didn't happen. You look across the front line, virtually every attack that we had, there was 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 6 players along that line, and nobody came short for the ball. Nobody. It was just you're pissing against the wind, looking for options, and there just weren't any there. We made it easy for them, and you could tell the difference in the second half when we changed shape and changed system was night and day. So don't come at me saying that it was the substitutes and it wasn't the starting 11. Absolute codswallop. It's absolute rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few Paul Smith saying time to Jones to step up. Wasn't even on the bench, was he? So is he injured again?
I think he was. No, I think he was. Or if he wasn't. Nothing's came out about it. If someone, I don't think so.
Because if he's on that, Barry says goodbye to the league. I think he probably can say that at the moment. Because
it's a bit early, but yeah, it's very
7 points.
Very
in 3
difficult
games.
from here on out.
Yeah, 7 points in 3 games isn't bad, but because of how shite we started the first 3 games, it's too much now, really.
Yeah. No, Curtis wasn't on the bench today. Arthur was on the bench instead. Don't know if it's injury related. Nobody said anything if it was injury related.
So, Jones has got to be available. If he's not available, what can we?
The thing is, he might just simply have not been selected.
Unless he's being safer, he's going to start at Napoli.
We don't know.
Hard yards. A few saying Salah needs benching. He possibly does. The only thing I would say for the front 3 is they did feed off scraps because there was
because the service was poor. There There was no options in the midfield to play it into him. And when the ball went wide to put it into the box, we caused them problems. But, there was a couple of headers that Darwin had in the first half where he was running in off the back post. They were good crosses. They were up in the air. And that's mid. He's going through the fullback to get at it. Darwin either mistimed his run or got the header off target. It's, you want to be in the position to take the chances, but you got to give yourself the best chance to take it as well.
I'd have left Darwin on because I'd have left Nunes on because at least he was caught. At least, to be honest, when they got it near him, at least he was causing a bit of trouble, and at least he was actually trying to. He was just awkward, he didn't know it was for him, but he was trying. I don't know if it's a fitness thing.
The only reason he took him off was fitness. Let's be fair. The only reason he took him off was fitness.
He's had 3 weeks off though.
Yeah, but there's a difference between training ground fitness and match fitness.
Well, I don't know. Paul Smith says he thinks he'll struggle to accept top 4. I think that's a bit early for talk like that.
Yeah,
I think that's just been a bit overreactionary, my opinion. I don't worry about Liverpool being top 4. I'm just annoyed. I just don't think it's there. I mean, we started okay for the first 5 minutes, and then I thought Everton got a bit more of the ball because again the 2 young lads in midfield just they were getting bypassed too much and they weren't following it. I don't know if that's a Fabinho thing, that's a Van Dijk thing where you've got to talk to the kids a bit more and get them going. Trent, I thought first half was defensive. I thought he was all right. I think he actually cut a few good things out for Moby. Attacking wise, he couldn't pass a ball. He couldn't pass water. It was just ridiculous.
His passing was off.
And to be honest, Tsimikas, I thought there was a lot of effort, but he looked a bit like a competition winner today.
Some of his set piece deliveries was good actually. He put the ball into good areas from his set pieces, but on the ball, it was a lot of effort, a lot of huff and puff, but there was no real quality in the end of it.
I would say, apart from the mistake he made for the Tom Davies chance, I thought Gomez actually played pretty well because I think he was calm on the ball. He was a bit more assured. I mean, our best player on the pitch today is the keeper. And to be fair, their best player on the pitch today is the keeper. Both keepers have, made some good saves. But yeah, Kev, it was just really frustrating. I mean, it was
a hard watch that.
Yeah, the only 2 big chances we had was we had the Nunes chance, which it's a great turn and hit. And to be fair to Pickford, it's a really good save.
Yeah, and there was the instinct, the first time volley.
Yeah. And then the rebound comes out to Diaz. It shot inside the post. And look, sometimes if you looks inside the post and it drops in, it rolled out. Yeah. But you know what? They were the only 2 chances we really created that half. I mean, Everton had the one that hit the post, but I don't know. It was a bit. I was saying to you, it was just too slow. All the passes we came from were 1 and 2 touch passes. The only time you saw Salah and Diaz getting into the game was when we did 1 and 2 touch passes because it created space.
Yeah, but to do that, you need the options in midfield to create space, and they weren't there. That's on Klopp, and he rectified it. He rectified it at half time. And the only worry that I had was he was asking Elliott to play as a second centre mid, and I thought, "Ooh, hello, that's enough."
He did
okay.
He did okay. Actually. So again, it's another feather in Elliott's cap. So I think it was. Paul Smith, seriously, mate, what are we on about now? It's time to prepare for life after Klopp's. Sorry to say it. So, are you wanting the manager out, Paul? Now, after a few soft results, look, we're all disappointed. But if you're starting to call for the manager's head, give it a little bit of a wobble. Come on, seriously. A few saying we miss Thiago. We do, but ultimately,
massively,
he's not fit. So and we know that. I think it's possibly why Arto's been brought in because he's probably a bit of a what should we call it? Thiago light. It's probably the best way of putting it.
I mean, Damien there saying he disagrees. He thinks Elliott looks terrible in it too. He's not going to look great, but he did a job, and he was all right at best. And that's all I'm saying. He wasn't terrible. It was far from terrible, but it was a jobber. Do you know what I mean? That's all it was. And it's just. It was today was screaming out for someone to put their foot in the ball and keep it simple and move the ball side to side.
It was screaming for a bit of leadership.
Yeah,
and we didn't see enough of it. Free World saying time to spend some money and back the manager more. Like we can keep saying this, but he's part of the process. After 2 extensions, I'm not having the manager hasn't backed enough. He is part of the process. He knows what money he's going to get. He knows how it works. So if we don't like the recruitment and don't like the squad we've got, you can blame the owners, but you've got to blame Klopp and Ward. It's all three of the same triangle. That's where the issue is. So we can keep doing all this, but
look, it got to the second half. Bobby came on and he did make a difference. He was that linchpin. It was exactly that. He was involved. He was involved in a lot of the link-up play, and he created space. And from there, the chances came. And you were calling it schoolboy football at one stage, where it was end to end.
Oh,
and it was.
My daughter's 9, and we even tell them it shouldn't be as end to end as that.
Yeah,
because that's what it was. It was literally you score, you shoot, we shoot. It was
chaos for a while.
Yeah,
but I thought Bobby made a difference when he came on. We changed the shape to 4-2-3-1, and
it got people more involved.
It got better. It did get better, but it got more open, and that's the risk you take trying to get into it. Trying to get a winner. It was always a risk that you could lose it on the end of it. And they had a chance. They had a really good chance in the second half that Ali made a really good save from. And then Cody got the goal that was offside. You called it straight away. You said he was offside. I thought it was tight.
He was too keen. But, I mean, it was. I must admit, it was tighter than I thought. But when you saw the replay, I thought, if you're an Everton fan, you'd want to lamp Mope because he doesn't need to. He just needs to stand level, and he could easily stand level, and he still gets that tapping. So it's that
was the best chance of the game. That was the best chance of the game by either side.
Listen, I know we need to. I don't know if you need to chat, Joe, but I don't get these sort of remarks. They deserve better than Tsimikas and Elliott, Klopp and Salah. What Klopp and Salah are like above everyone else. In fairness, Klopp signed both of them, so you're saying he deserves better. He picked them, so it's a very odd comment. Let's not go into silliness like that. I mean, I think the reason Bobby didn't start was I think they're saving him for Napoli because I think that would make sense. I think it suits him in all that.
There needed to be a rotation today. You can't ask the same 11 or 12 players to go, 3-4 games in the space of.
Kev Ball saying Salah deserves better. The fella is on 350 grand a week, and he's been embarrassing. I don't care what wages the player on. Ultimately, up until 3 or 4 weeks ago. Before he signed his contract, it was all doom and gloom. Oh, why isn't Salah signing? I can't believe we're not signing Salah. Now we're signing him. It's all like, oh, he's shit, isn't he? Because he's got, because he's got his new contract. He's not asked. He's just not playing very well. Is he playing any worse than the others?
And he's still had a really good chance at the end that Pickford pulled off a brilliant save for us. So
which is frustrating.
And as much as it pains me, I will give the devil his due. Pickford was really good today.
Yeah, he did.
His positioning really for some of the saves. I mean, the argument is they were straight at him. They were straight at him because his positioning was really good, and he made 4 or 5 top saves. If that had been 3-1 today, there wouldn't have been much of an argument. You were right in what you're saying. It's just clinical finishing in those moments. And
we're not clinical in both boxes because at times defensively we're too slack. We're not switched on to an alertness. And same with look, as good as Bobby was, he missed the best chance, which is a free header. The whole goal's down, it's right at the keeper.
Yeah. Claire Dean there in the chat. Gomez was excellent today, and Ali. Yeah, Ali was brilliant. Joe Gomez, I thought, was really good. He was really solid. He had a couple of heart attack moments in the first half, but in general, his all-around play was quite good. I
thought Nunes showed spells. I mean, I've seen a few in the chat saying he's dreadful and he's a flop. I think it's a bit over the top. I thought he was involved, and I thought he was at least causing them issues, and he wasn't rising to any of the silliness. And let's be honest, they were trying it. I thought Unana played well for Everton. To be fair, actually, give him the devil's due. I'm not a big fan of him. Tom Davies, I thought had a good game as well for Everton.
Yeah, Tom Davies was all right. Gordon was off it.
The young fullback was
Patterson. Patterson is very good. We said it last night in the show, and he's going to be a mainstay of that Everton side as long as he's at the club. Whatever they're doing in the water in Scotland, they're producing some decent fullbacks at the minute.
Yeah, it seems to be the place to go now for a fullback.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But yeah, he looks very, very good. A lot of the reason why Diaz was quiet today is because Patterson was very good. And when you look back on this, it shouldn't surprise anyone. 9 of the last 11 derbies at Goodison were draws. Last year was the exception. Last year was just, we were really good and really clinical, on form and on it, and they were dreadful. But today it was a typical Merseyside derby at Goodison. It was just one of those. It was another draw. And it wasn't a case that we didn't have chances. We did, just didn't take them. They had one really good chance, I thought, and Ali made a brilliant save off that.
Which we've said this a few times now. Fulham, Crystal Palace, why we're not clinical enough. Newcastle, we weren't clinical enough. I know we won it in the end, but we did say at the time we weren't clinical enough.
Yeah.
Dan Bailey, I think it's clear we're a soft touch at the minute. In between the lines, we are too easy to bypass. Need to get back to being that hard, solid team that give you no encouragement. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair shout.
Yeah, I think you're going to get that with a more experienced midfield than what you had today. It was, Carvalho's a dead leg. It looks like he'll miss the next game. Yeah, no harm.
Yeah, it was knee on knee, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was knee on knee. It could have been a lot worse. It was a very similar one to the Ibu Konate. When I initially saw Ibu Konate's clash against Strasbourg, I thought, he'll shake that off. That's nothing. And here we are looking at the international break before he's back. So those kind of knee on knee things could be anything.
Emmett saying knee on quad.
Knee on quad. It was close enough. It was enough to make me a bit skitty about it. But it would have been harsh on. They were saying it in the commentary, and they were probably right. It would have been harsh on either side to lose it late on. Not that we didn't fucking want them to, but it was.
Yeah,
it was definitely a game where a draw, if you stand back as a neutral, a draw is the right result. Frustration on our part more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, most games at Goodison do tend to be a draw. It's just one of those games. But like I said, we've got 9 points to make up now from last season already.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that those points are going to come back is to beat the sides who were around us this time last year. We dropped points at Chelsea, we dropped points at City. It's those kind of games now are as if every game is a must-win game. I honestly believe that at the moment we should be looking. It's a fight for top 4. I look at the squad, the makeup of the squad, the rebuild that's going on. It's a brand new midfield today. It's never played together before.
It's going to be a brand new midfield. It's going to be a brand new midfield next game as well.
Yeah, but it was Darwin's first start in anger in a brand new front three. More or less. And a back 4, that has played together a lot with Alisson. So, you're talking there's 1, 2, 3, there's 3 key players that were virtually, making their debut in the Merseyside derby today. And it's not surprising that it didn't click and it didn't click straight away.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating. I mean, listen, it feels at the moment, at this point in time, it's a battle for top 4, but you and me have both seen this enough time. We've seen enough football over the years that if you can get on a run, it's amazing how quickly that fortune and that expectation changes. But at the moment,
at the moment, it's just at the moment you struggle. You're looking and you think, where the hell is the next win coming from? Or where's the next goal coming from? But it's like you've got to be honest about it. The balance and the makeup of that midfield in time might grow and might evolve, and it might be one that you look to start more often than not. But I'm talking seasons down the line. It's a really, really tough ask to expect that midfield to go and dominate any game, let alone a Merseyside derby away. Look, as frustrating as it is for me, what can you do?
Yeah, well, as a few times, we got Stamford Bridge in 2 weeks. There's one of the games you can try and get your points back on because we drew there last year.
But Zachary makes a point there. He didn't have a problem with the starting 11. He had a problem with making the double change when we were caving them in. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Zach, and you're right to a point, but it looks like those substitutions on the hour are planned, irrespective of what's happening in the game, mainly to do with protecting the players long-term over the season with the volume of games that we've got coming up. It's it's more like, they got to protect Trent and Robertson to an extent where you can't have them playing
every week,
every minute of every game. I get where you're coming from, but I just think those two subs, especially that one on the hour, is going to be a case. It is what it is until
we did that a lot in Europe as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is going to be until Ramsey comes back or until Matip is back up to match fitness, where Joe Gomez can rotate it right back.
Yeah, that is that. Right, let's pay the bills then. So let's talk about IP Vanish. Might make the season disappear the way it's going at the moment. So you guys know by now, if you use an incognito online, you're not actually protecting your privacy. Basically, you're giving all your private details to hackers, advertisers, and other undesirables. So if you sound like IP Vanish, it's a VPN, which makes you truly private and secure on the internet. All your data is 100% encrypted, including your location, which, to be honest, is where Liverpool's defensive was at times today. The IP Vanish can be used on unlimited devices without sacrificing speed. That's on computers, tablets, phones, and you can also use it on Fire Sticks, whether you're at home or out in the public. And for you guys, the deal is 70% off our yearly plan, and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you're getting 9 months for free. And these guys are 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. So that is ipvanish.com/daytrippers. That's ipvanish.com/daytrippers. Right. Now, we've also got Paramount Plus. So Paramount Plus are showing all the Champions League games. So that's Tuesday, isn't it, Kev?
Yeah, starting this Tuesday.
Also,
5 o'clock.
So can Real Madrid retain the title, or will the likes of Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Barca, PSG, or Bayern actually take it off them? So if you sign up to it now, it goes live on the 6th of September, and all of the games are live on Paramount Plus. Obviously, Paramount Plus in America. So maybe if you have a VPN, you'd be sorted. And last one is from our friends at BetterHelp. So BetterHelp is a support network for your mind. Because look, we know life can be hard for people. As much as we get stressed over football, there are other things in life that can really make life difficult for you. And look, we all go through stages where we need a little bit of help. So what you can do with BetterHelp is they give you online therapy, which offers you video, phone, or you can even do live online chat, and you can do this on camera or off camera, whichever you feels more comfortable with. It's also a lot more affordable than doing in-person therapy, and you can all be matched up with a therapist within the 48 hours. So for you guys, they're offering listeners 10% off the first month at betterhelp.com/daytrippers. That's betterhelp.com/daytrippers. So there we go. That's me paying the bills. Right, so Kev. What else should we talk about?
Clutch FIFA's in the chat there. Kev from last night. He's got one of his predictions right. He did predict a draw.
He did.
This one. He did. To be fair to him, he got the scoreline wrong. He fancied us to actually score a goal. Strange fish. What is with these Man United fans, eh?
Yeah, I know.
Afternoon, Steve. I love it. If you didn't watch last night, I had an issue again with names.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm Chris. Just so
that's Chris.
So far. That's Chris.
It was
Poor Gary, you were calling Dave, and
last week it was Sam. I was calling Andy from Bournemouth. What are you gonna do?
It's so funny, Kev.
Yeah.
What peek behind the curtain? We tell Kev write it down then, and he did. He wrote the wrong name down.
The problem is with the screen that you guys see on YouTube and the screen that I see up in front of me are different, where there's no names. And if I don't write it down at the start, it's the worst thing in the world.
PM is saying another wasted season. Midfield was total crap. It's the midfield a lot of people were shouting for 2 weeks ago. So,
Yeah, look, the midfield was poor. And it was the midfield a lot of people were asking for. And he's right, Salah was poor, and there were times today where he was just so wide that
it feels
he
like
couldn't get involved.
But it feels like it's under instruction because that's 4 games now. We've said first half, Diaz and Salah are too wide, and the second half they get really close together, and then they're both more involved, and we tend to see chances for them. So it's a very weird. It does well at the moment. It's not working. Now, is that because we're waiting for certain players to come back? But look. I see a lot of talk in the chat about transfers. I'm not talking about transfers anymore.
No, transfers done. Forget it.
Pardon my language. The window's fucking short. So we've got what we've got. So the manager has to make it work. And if he can't make it work, it's on the manager, just the owners, that he didn't do it, that he didn't pick it right. whether
Damien Smart there with a comment. Do you think Fab is done? Added to last season, it's like 3 months. Odd game aside, good game aside. I thought he was okay. I thought he wasn't helped today. But he was aggressive when he needed to be. His distribution was okay. He was always available as an out ball. It's just that being that 6, you do need players around you to be able to lay the ball off to. And if they're not there, you're leaving them isolated. And that Fabinho with too much time in his hands ain't that good, to be fair. That's why no matter whether he's playing for us or playing for Brazil, he's always got 1 or 2 players who are really close to him that he can play 1-2s around and keep the ball moving quickly. And Emmett was in the chat earlier on, and Emmett was spot on what he was saying. A lot of our problems today was by us slowing the ball down and not moving it quickly enough. And when we did move it quickly, we caused some problems. But to move it quickly, you have to have bodies in the right part of the pitch.
Yeah, I think it's also like something in place of the game plan, whatever the game plan was. Avo saying we shouldn't do post-match show. Too much hate being spouted. The Goodison derby's always shite.
Look, it is what it is.
Issues run high. Look, feelings run high, and there is an element of people who just like to moan and I like the "I told you so." That seems to be the popular one. Cav saying thanks for doing the show, guys. Hard after the results, but we need the therapy. Yeah, look, we can't just keep coming on here saying we're only going to come on when we win because that's shite. Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah, look, and to be fair, it's as much your show. As long as you guys are turning up, then we'll keep doing it, and we'll keep reading out your comments. Whether we agree or disagree doesn't really matter. It's like this is your feedback. This is where you get to voice your opinion. So. Can't really dig out Fab when the 2-8s are going forward. Yeah, that's pretty much what I think.
Yeah, that's pretty fair because we actually looked better when we went 4-2-3-1. We actually had a bit more balance about us.
I wonder would that 4-2-3-1 work a hell of a lot better with a Henderson or a Thiago in there, or an Arthur in there.
Yeah,
it would give you a lot more balance.
And the other thing, it would take pressure off how many defense players we need. It's whether we've got enough attackers at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see. So right, who've we got next now? We've got
we're away to Napoli and then we're home to Wolves.
So there's going to be rotation for Napoli. There's going to be rotation for Wolves. I mean, listen, if you think Everton were defensive, wait till you play Wolves.
Yeah, but this version of Wolves are completely different, though.
Still,
they're giving it a go. It's Napoli. Napoli have had a massive changing of the guard. A lot of their old boys, the old stagers, have left the building, and it's a very new team that we're going to play on Wednesday night. So it's going to be one of those ones. We'll see how it turns out. I mean, we'll do preview shows between now and then. You just hope that there's no major injuries coming out off the back of this today.
Well, it sounds like the only one who's probably out is Carvalho. So it sounds like you probably see Carvalho out the squad, which is a shame because actually he's in good form. But look, if it's a dead leg, it's only probably one game.
And then if it's a dead leg, it might not even be that. He's a young kid. It might shake it off in a day or so. You know? And the thing is, as an option off the bench, he's really impactful. I mean, as a starting player, he's got a lot of growing to do in the setup, in the way we were playing. So
if he's going to play centre mid, if they're going to play him as one of the front three, it's a bit different. I think he can do that like number 10 role a bit easier. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Miriam Kavanagh is making a comment there. Our corner gave the ball away, and it's just gone off the screen. Our corner, they counter attacked and leave us exposed. Look, it's because they're really good in the court. They got it right. It's one of those where if you lose the second ball on the counter, we always leave two back, and one of them is one of them is Gomez. So if they get it right, you're going to get exposed. And Gomez defended one of those right at the end so brilliantly.
He did well against Gordon in the very end of the first half. You know, that's the one thing he has that Matip doesn't is that pace.
Yeah.
And he's used it very well. That's what we miss with Canate. You know, so at least with Gomez being back. And to be fair, Gomez to him, I actually think he's been pretty decent the 3 games we've played.
Yeah.
I think his partner next to him needs a bit of a kick up the arse. But how fit do we think Arthur is? Well, he hasn't played a game yet this season, has he? So Arthur might be one of those ones that we play into.
There's a thing with Arthur that there's going to be Juventus level fit and Premier League level fit, and it's going to be a case now where it's going to be match. He's going to have to gain his fitness through playing 20 minutes here and doing work on the training ground. But that's going to be down to him and his willingness to put the hard yards in.
Yeah. If anyone sees any Klopp post match, let us know because it'd be interesting. Yeah. Damien's saying, I think it's clear that we're evolving the shape/tactics. It's just so hard to see what we are trying to do. I feel like we're trying to almost do 2 sitters and 1 really attacking, but we haven't got the balance quite right at the moment. And we've obviously got a target option now, and it's trying to build that in. Jota looked quite live for the little bits that he came on for. So that's another option. What would you change for Napoli apart from all of them?
I think Jota comes in for a start, and I wouldn't be surprised. If it's Mo who sits out. If Mo might come off the bench,
and that would get Mo a kick up the arse because
but it's not just that. I think you need to have a bit more strength in midfield. Whether that's Milner coming in next to Fabinho. You're away from home in Europe. It's one of those that, at the start of the group stage, you don't want to lose your first game. You want to try and get points on the board. Draw, you take. A win, ideal. But I don't know what Napoli are going to try and watch Napoli this weekend if I can. And then
from Jake's part, the situation we're in right now is not a dream. It's good that players are coming back, but we have to make sure we use them in the right manner. Yeah, I think that's
common sense. That's your standard look. That's your standard. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it answer.
After Wednesday, it was really tough. These games are rarely for people who love the most beautiful football because both teams have to fight like crazy. It was just super intense.
Well, that's lazy because Everton played Thursday. So they can't, it was intense for us on Wednesday.
They didn't play Thursday.
They did play. They played when. No,
Thursday.
They played Leeds on the Tuesday. Sorry, they played Leeds on the Tuesday, wasn't it? Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. So,
but even still, it's that type of thing now where we're going to be playing Wednesday, Saturday. Obviously, you're not going to be playing Wednesday and then Saturday lunchtime kickoff, which I thought that was odd. This was a 12:30 game, rather than.
Bejan Pops is saying Trent has a niggle. That's why he was subbed. He felt something in his calf. He probably actually ran, so he wasn't used to it.
Yeah, look, I think Trent is. I think there's a few of those. You reckon that Henderson has been managed?
Yeah, I think so.
Through the last few weeks.
I think he was playing with something. I mean, that doesn't excuse some of the, he still wasn't playing very well. But I think the hamstring injury is a pull. It's a lot of hamstrings at the moment. That's 6 now, isn't it? So is that overworking people or
it's too many? It's too few players playing too many games. And if Trent is carrying a niggle, then it might explain, especially if it's in his calf, it might explain some of his ability to play rangy passes, but if that's the case and you don't feel confident in your body, you just don't play them at all. And you ensure that everyone knows you're not going to play those kind of balls. So people have to come to the ball.
I think so. So what we're thinking, so I assume Robson's got to start because I think that's what he's arrested for. Van Dijk will play. I think Matip will start. And I think Gomez will go right back. I think away in Italy, I think you want to go solid.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too disappointed if that's the case. I think Robbo definitely comes in.
Midfield wise, I think Fab will have to start again.
Yeah,
as there is concern we're playing him too much. I think Elliott gets another game, and if he's fit enough, I think you start Arthur to give him 45 minutes.
Even if you get a half out of him,
and then you bring on at half time. And then maybe if Jones is fit, maybe bring Jones on.
Plus, he's going to places where he's going to Napoli where he knows
it's a league at a pace he knows. Yeah, so that also helps. And then front three, I agree with you. I think it'd be Diaz, Nunes and Jota, and I think
Damien, who have we acquired that's injured? Apart from the right back, which wouldn't, and he wouldn't get a game.
Too many games. What happens when you accrue injured players? I think. Oh, do you mean injury-prone players? Possibly. We did play with bought who's injured is Ramsey, and they spot that in the medical. I think it's something to do with his back.
Yeah, it's exactly the same issue as what Gerrard had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is literally one of those things. Curtis suffers from it as well. You know, you don't stop growing until you're about 23. And I had it when I was 19. I had massive growing pain problems, and it was a problem with my back.
Yeah, Gerrard had it, didn't he? He had stress fractures in his back.
Yeah, it stopped me playing sport for about 3 or 4 years, and it's a horrible thing to happen. But there is no reason or cure. It's just biology. It can happen.
William says, even when we had Mane and a fit midfield, we always struggled against Everton. I mean, Klopp's only won at Everton twice, I think. He hasn't lost, but it's a lot of draws.
Damien, you're making a good point there about stockpiling players, but when it comes to Ox, look, we've said this till we're blue in the face. If he didn't get injured, he would have probably been sold. No doubt, and Nottingham Forest would have taken him. Henderson's going nowhere. You know, Thiago again is going nowhere. Naby, don't want to talk about him, and Jones is not going anywhere. So you talk about 3 of those players there. To replace 3 of those players, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jordan Henderson, and Curtis Jones, you go out and buy 3 English midfielders because they have to be English.
Yeah, there is that. And with the Keita thing, we might be wrong.
Reality.
With Keita, we could be wrong because maybe he actually is injured. It just felt too convenient timing for us, didn't it? I wonder if it was those players you do the injured. They're not really. It's just an excuse not to play and why you move them on. But again,
I'm no interest in talking about Naby Keita whatsoever.
Yeah, so Ian, that's what Ian's put here. Lads, would you think with the midfield issues, put Trent into midfield and put Gomez at right back for the Napoli game? I wouldn't put Trent into midfield, no.
Yeah, I remember Jamie Holm when he was on the pod there last year, made a really, really good point. Because I was on that training for a long time. Because I saw Joshua Kimmich do it for Bayern, move from fullback into midfield. And I thought, yeah, he could do that. You know, it was one of those issues. But Jamie was very good at analysing the difference in the game where a right back has the game. Say if you're byline there, your goalkeeper behind you, you have game in front of you for your passing range. If you're in midfield, you need 360 vision. It's not something that you can just click a finger and drop into midfield, especially for the last few years, especially when we were chasing perfection, really. You know, you're chasing 90-plus points every year. It's blooding a new player into 2 positions, really. A fullback, a centre-back into a fullback slot, and a fullback into centre mid. It's weird. You know,
I mean, the other thing is, I think when people say slot Trent, I think they mean him as an 8. But when he was a youth player playing midfield, he was playing the Fabinho role. He was a holder. He was a holder.
Yeah, I don't think it works. I think the compromise is at the minute when we're on song, he does end up being in there when we're on attack, when we're dominating sides into the final third. He does tend to pick up those positions in midfield. But the other side of it, he's physically got to do the right back job as well. So that takes a massive toll on his body. You know, fullback's normally up and down the line, and that's the be all and end all of the job.
Yeah,
but if you're asking a fullback to do that, and by the way, while you're up there, cut inside into midfield and be alert and active in there as well, and get back. It's
Emil saying the Keita situation gives me Sacco and Klein vibes. Yeah, I think that's what me and Kev were sort of feeling.
Yeah.
It gave the hint like he'd been bombed out, and like he done a final straw with him. But listen, he might just be injured, but it's just really frustrating. So right, Kev. So what time are we on now? But 40 minutes.
Yeah.
What else should we talk about? Should we talk about F1?
Was there anything? It's funny enough.
I'm that desperate now. Should we talk about
F1? There's qualifying today, and I'm probably missing it at the minute. So
I'm joking. I don't really.
MMA tonight in France.
First time ever, isn't it?
Gan is fighting, defending his heavyweight title, and the WWE event in Cardiff is on free to air on BT Sport. So
yeah. Oh, Kev saying VVD tackle. It's a yellow card.
Yeah. Do you know what, Kev? I think that was definitely orange. If there was an orange card,
the way they explained it on BT was because it's below the shin, but they said that there's no massive force, and they're saying that's what they go with. If he'd gone in full blooded at that height, then he'd have got a red set. But the fact said it was below the shin pad and then went down with not great force. Most of the contact was on his foot. That's why it's a yellow. So,
I mean, I'll be honest. If there was such a thing as an orange card and a sin bin. You know what I mean? That's the kind of tackle it's for.
Yeah.
You know, and there was another one that Darwin got caught with Tarkowski when Tarkowski had the studs up and he just caught him. And he caught him and for a few minutes he was running around like a lunatic after. I was like, please just calm down. And he was grand again. But it's those kind of high-footed tackles that you don't like seeing because they do end up getting players do get up.
I think because the motion went down. I think we carried on going up. He'd have been in a lot of trouble.
He would have, definitely.
His heading was off today, wasn't it? Completely.
Some of it was all right. Some of it, I love it when he has the ball and he directs it to a pass. You know,
it wasn't enough of that.
No, there wasn't. And again, they targeted Joe Gomez on that side with Onana, and I thought Joe Gomez handled himself a lot better today than he did versus Newcastle. You know, he was a lot cuter about how those balls that were coming in the air. But look,
if we go through a team, let's sort of positive and negative. Positives are probably Ali was very good.
Yeah,
Gomez I thought was very good. The rest of the back four, not really. I thought Fab was solid enough.
Yeah,
I still thought Elliot had
Elliot was all right for the job that he was asked to do. Elliot was okay.
Yeah, Cavalli looked a bit lost. I don't think it's. I think he obviously worked that left side of the middle against Newcastle, but I think there was a bit of chaos and I think the momentum was running at him.
Yeah. Look, Diaz, by that stage again, Newcastle had absolutely no interest in winning that game.
Correct. Whereas to be fair to Everton was still trying to go for a counter attack and trying to win it. You know, it wasn't coming off, but at least they were trying to use the tools they had. Alison thinks Tsimikas was decent.
But that's it. There was a lot of that, Alison. There was a lot of decent, okay, all right, but those kind of performances is what gets you a draw. You know, they weren't terrible. They weren't absolutely shockers. You know, if it had gone the other way and we'd have dropped 3 points, you're having a different conversation. But Tsimikas, he was okay. He did a job he was asked to do. He was fine. Up front, Diaz had moments, had a couple of flashes. Salah had a couple of flashes. The shot at the end was unlucky. It was a really good save. The flick pass into Bobby just showed that bit of quality that he has if he picks his head up. And Bobby, he didn't scuff the shot. It was just a good shot into the corner. Pickford got down and saved. Bobby and Darwin he's just finding his feet and he needs a run of games.
I was actually happy with Darwin's because I thought he was just a pest, which at least he gave Everton something to think about. I was a bit annoyed when he went off, to be honest. And the subs who came on, like you said, Firmino I think did fine. Robertson, when he came on, was solid enough. Milner right back didn't work. It worked.
No, put him into midfield and he was okay.
Newcastle when we put him right back, actually worked quite well. You know, because I think he sets up the. In fact, it's his cross for his corner. So I thought Milner did all right, but it didn't work at all. And then there was Matip just came on because Milner was getting rinsed at right back, so they swapped it round. Jota lively, but look, it's 10 minutes. You know, can't see much in 10 minutes, and he's not really played much. So, Bonker said Alisson man of the match.
Yeah. Wouldn't argue. That save off the deflection.
Excellent, really good. I'd give it Gomez because I thought Gomez actually. I'll be honest, I thought Gomez led Van Dijk a little bit, which it should be the other way around. You know,
should be the other way around.
But I actually thought Gomez was actually, to be honest, a bit more.
Well, the lads will get into that tomorrow night in the Fat Back Four when they chat about it. And I'm sure from what I've seen on Twitter so far, Shoney will be waxing lyrical tomorrow night about this and more.
Yeah, he's not happy, but I don't blame him, to be fair.
No, I don't think any of us are happy. None of us are. No one's happy drawing a game like that when so many players are below par, and that's the frustration. It's if everyone plays really well and you draw a game, hands up, that's grand, that's football. But when you're just not at it, it's vital that you don't lose first and foremost. But there's this kind of run now is going on a bit too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is falling into that horrible phrase of transitional season, which is shite.
Yeah, it is shite.
You don't want to hear it, but
it is what it is. Someone needs to say it as it is, like.
Yeah. Do I think Liverpool won't get top 4? I think Liverpool will get top 4. Do I think Liverpool are in a title race? Not at this moment in time.
No.
No. And I don't see that. I think there's too much. I think they're giving themselves too much work to do, which we fell foul of last year. We got a gap to 14 points, chased it down to 1.
But we had games in hand, so
I agree. But you still can't keep giving that little gap.
No. Anybody got any scores? Is there any early goals in the 3 o'clocks? Before we go?
Bonkers is saying Carvalho is an impact sub right now, not a starter for me. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I'd agree with that.
Because I think he's given us what we've needed, especially with the amount of people we've had injured at the moment. He would have been good. Every game so far, Kev, is 0-0. I mean, if you want to see goals, we've got Villa City later. That'll be an absolute car crash to watch that for Villa.
Well, it doesn't look like there's anything going massively in the 3 o'clock. No goals yet. Fair enough. Well, I'm going to go off and see if I can watch the end of the Formula 1 qualifying.
But anyway, listen, guys, thanks for joining us. As long as you keep joining us,
let's just finish. I just want to finish on this one a sec. Comment there from Never Give Up. Genuine question: why don't we put pressure on the owners to sell or spend money? Sell what? It's actually a bit of a joke how much we spend. Oh, sell the club? Yeah, all right. They're not going to sell the club anytime soon. And from just off the top of my head, Darwin Núñez was the second most expensive signing of the summer. On that note, we'll leave it there.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. Bobby's Wish to Walk, our charity. Don't forget about that. I think he's up to 131k. We checked last night, so he's down to the last 20k we need now. So look, details in the description below. If you can give. If you can't, just copy the link and share it around. Let's try and get Bobby to America to get him walking, which would be really, really good.
I'll tell you one thing, actually. I saw there's on Sienna's Instagram page pictures that her mum put up today of her first day in school. So if you go and check out Sienna Steps on Instagram, you'll see the picture of Sienna going into school. And I'll tell you what, that'll brighten up your day. Just go and check it out.
Yeah. I've just left Emmett to come up there. We'll leave that where it is.
Okay.
Anyway, right. Listen, thanks for joining us. So, Kev, we are back. We're going to be back Wednesday, aren't we?
We're going to be back Wednesday with a positive result. Yes, we are.
Hope so. If not, Kev, we might not do it anymore. Only joking. We'll still be doing it, even if it's not great. We'll just have a laugh about it. Right. Listen, guys. Until then, enjoy yourselves. Come back on tomorrow for Fatback 4, where Gavin lads will be digging into this frustrating performance. But look, we keep going. Let's go again. On to Napoli.
Good night.